Ladies and gents, let's get started today. So I got my account back. That's nice. I just had to take some indoctrination training letting me know that I shouldn't pass on medical misinformation that came from previous presidential candidates like Robert F. Kennedy. So thank you, YouTube, for teaching me how to go through a massive list of questions to be able to determine what is accurate and what is not. And I still don't actually know. So in case you didn't know this, I still don't actually know what I did wrong or what is wrong and not fact about what Robert F. Kennedy said about the World Health Organization, Bill Gates, etc. But I did my training, and I know I can't talk about certain things. That's the gist of it, right? They don't tell you what you were wrong about. Good morning, monkey. They don't tell you what you were wrong about, but they just teach you that you shouldn't talk about anything medical, anything with the COVID word in it, anything with the, vac in it. You're not allowed to talk about those things because Bill Gates paid for 15%, I believe roughly, if I looked at the last data and I'm remembering it correctly last year, of the World Health Organization's budget. And they're the deciding factor on what happens with misinformation on YouTube. So it's good to know that a government body that wasn't elected by the United States is able to control what we see and hear on platforms in the United States. It's wonderful. And we're going to get into election poll details, and then we'll get into the news. I do want to play this, though. This is actually in front of Congress, which I find interesting. And this talks about some of the misinformation that came out later on. But it doesn't talk about those key words. So maybe I won't get a strike today. I don't know. Going to be exciting. Morning, Tim.
Misinformation.
Let me get my headset on.
The greatest perpetrator of misinformation during the pandemic has been the United States government. Misinformation that COVID was spread through surface transmission, that vaccinated immunity was far greater than natural immunity, that masks were effective. Now we have the definitive Cochrane review. What do you do with that review? Cochrane is the most authoritative evidence body in all of medicine and has been for decades. Do you just ignore it, not talk about it? That myocarditis was more common after the infection than the vaccine. Not true. It's 4 to 28 times more common after the vaccine.
So I'll stop there. I'll repost this right now if you guys want to take a look. I'm just going to say, I don't know whether to confirm or deny any of this, even though, this is coming from Dr. Martin Macri from Johns Hopkins, a Johns Hopkins surgeon speaking in front of Congress. But maybe YouTube thinks that's misinformation. So I'm just going to bow out right here and let you guys figure that out for yourself. You guys can talk amongst yourselves. You guys can look that up. And then we can figure out what's true and what's not, or let entities that aren't elected by anybody in the United States make those decisions for us. All right, not bitter at all. Let's move on. Election stuff. That's why we're here. Kabomag 1. Good morning, Jesse. Thanks for the alpha you share. Hey, man, happy to. So in regard to election polling data, we're going to get into that. But I wanted to show this from Linda Yaccarino. It says that. This was before the debate or the conversation with Elon Musk and Donald Trump from a while ago. Just said, hey, before you listen to this, just realize that X has a pretty diverse allocation of people on it. From our numbers, we have 37 million Democrats, 32 million Republicans, and 34 million swing voters. So I don't know when this is polled and what it all means. Let's see if we have it over here. It says Source X Causeway Solutions Partnership 2024. Okay, so I don't know how they scrub the data analytics, but this is what Linda is saying, and this is what X is saying, and I don't know Elon Musk or X or Linda to be big liars. So we're gonna pretend you know what? Let's call it 2-1. Let's say there's 2-1 Republicans versus Democrats. Let's be biased in the other direction when we're looking at some of this data. Calv 88. How was the re-education camp? It was great. It's not a concentration camp, which is nice. So I thought that was fun. And I got my account back. I don't have to wait. You either wait 90 days or you agree to their answers and the questions they provide. So whatever. I could be accommodative. All right. So with the knowledge that we have, let's say the 2-1 bias of Republicans versus Democrats, even though it says, it's basically, 33%, 33%, 33% or close, right? Pretty close. Actually, more Democrats than Republicans. It's hard to believe, but you got to remember this was very biased towards the Democratic side before Elon acquired X. So maybe it is true. If that is true, if that is true, or even if it isn't, even if it's 2-to-1 bias, Republicans versus Democrats, this is fascinating. Brian Krasenstein, and I won't go into all the stuff that's happened lately around these guys and like, young porn and stuff, whatever. I don't care about any of that. But their polls are fascinating because these guys should be very liberal leaning. Well, I mean, they are, right? Or at least the clickbait is. And yet, look at the overwhelming numbers that have come across in polls for these guys over, the months. 725-24, 79% Donald Trump. 823-24, 85% Trump. Donald Trump, the felon, versus Kamala Harris, the prosecutor. 766,000 votes on 9/6 a couple of days ago. The felon won 77% of the votes. So it's just fascinating that, again, if we know that what the makeup of X is, and seeing just overwhelmingly how many people are in support of Trump. I mean, it's kind of anecdotal, but it's kind of fascinating all at the same time. Benny Johnson posted, Kamala has continued to slip in the polls for the 3 consecutive days. Trump now leads her nationally by 6 points. The sugar high is wearing off. Biden level Kamala collapse is imminent. And it just shows the massive uptick. And this is a couple days old from Rasmussen. There's going to be a lot of reporting coming out here soon. And believe me, Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a live stream of the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. That should be a trip. It's going to be very impactful. So we'll see who does what. I will say this. I hope that the training that Donald Trump gets from Tulsi Gabbard is good and he listens. Trump did an amazing job. What was it? The Econ Club? The best I've ever heard him speak. If he acts like that in this debate, he's going to destroy her. Excuse me. If he drones on and compares his golf game with Kamala Harris and she has somehow a miraculous good night, I'll be worried. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not my base case. But I do want to see this lead with Trump widen. And also, something else I wanted to talk about, guys. This is a big deal. I don't know if you've heard about the SAVE Act. Inside of this bill, it's basically there to try and ensure, paper ballots, try to ensure election integrity, try and clear voter rolls for people that are dead, make sure that people that are registering actually are U.S. citizens. I have a video where some people were saying, "Oh yeah, we can totally register you." I think it was the state of Arizona, and all you have to do is just get your license over here. And then the person said, "Well, yeah, but if I get my license, that doesn't mean I'm a U.S. citizen. It just means I have a driver's license because you can get a license without being a U.S. citizen." And they said, "No, you can't. We're not talking about that. But once you get your license, come back over here and we'll register you." And there's just a whole bunch of allegations about basically cheating, right? Allegations. YouTube, don't take me down. I didn't say it was true. But the SAVE Act is to try and eliminate that. The SAVE Act is to try and ensure that that's not possible. And I'm very intrigued. So this bill would have to be passed by the end of the month. I think Republicans could hold it up. It really depends on how it polls. Last poll I saw, almost 70% of Americans were worried about the integrity of the election. You could put some spin on, or U.S. citizens were worried about the integrity of the election, and you could put some spin on this either way. I think it hurts the Harris camp more because of the fact that they've got to try and publicly justify why we shouldn't have paper ballots and why we shouldn't have, just basically ensure that only U.S. citizens are voting. And this is damning because I think it was just Chuck Schumer like a week ago was talking about how illegal immigrants should have the ability to vote. So I think, and it's very clear now, if you listen to the narrative, especially at colleges, that young students, when they're questioned about like, is it racist to require ID? They virtually all say yes. That's the indoctrination, right? Black people aren't capable. Guys, if you're black, I just want to tell you, evidently you're not capable of going to the DMV and getting a license. I guess it's too hard. So just so you guys know, it's really difficult for you per Democrats. I don't know why. I haven't figured that part out yet. But it's evidently racist to require one for an election. And it's not just, I mean, it's racism on multiple levels, I guess, and not just for blacks. And it's really confusing as to why IDs aren't something that's required. It's funny how narratives change over time with the Democratic Party. Like the wall, right? Oh, no. It's just the wall is frivolous. It won't do anything. We definitely are all about border security. It's just the wall is ineffective. It's $5 billion to finish this thing. It's such a waste of taxpayer money. We'd rather pay $150 billion last year in managing illegal immigrants coming into the country than $5 billion for an ineffective wall and actually completing it. So, and then and any kind of deterrence whatsoever for it. So it's just funny how the goal line gets moved over and over again. And I am biased towards Republicans, in case people don't notice that yet. I mean, I did vote for Joe Biden, but I am biased towards Republicans. If you're new here, I have switched camps along with a bunch of other people that I'm finding online. But yeah, so I hope the debate goes really good. Tune in here for it. Poly market, again, the betting markets are still showing a shift towards Trump. It's 53% to 46%, so a 7-point lead. So Rasmussen has a 6-point lead for Trump. Polymarket has a 7-point lead for Trump. And let's listen to CNN's latest polling figures and their thoughts on the election if it were to happen today as well.
End up being Kamala Harris
Try this up 1 sec.
With 292 electoral votes to Donald Trump's
1 sec. That's super quiet. Oh, I hate this. I hate it when some of these feeds are just super, super duper quiet. Give me 1 sec here. I can fix this. I just got to bump it up a little bit. Got to bump up these numbers. So I'm just going to do this. Advanced audio properties. And then I just have to give this thing might give it like a 7 dB bump. 7 dB enough? Let's find out. Let's hit play.
246.
Not much better.
Let's just say we move the current polls, and let's say the result differs by them by a single percentage point, and Donald Trump is the beneficiary of it. Look at this. If Trump outperforms his current polls by just a single point, you take that Kamala Harris win, and look at this. Donald Trump gets 287 electoral votes, because the bottom line is Pennsylvania would flip up here, and you would also get this flip out in Nevada over here. And that, my friends, is what we're talking about. We are talking about the closest campaign in a generation where a single point could make all the difference in the world. John, this is a truly exciting race right now where any slight movement can make all the difference.
Tune into CNN for exciting details. I got to say this. So let me just kill this real quick because I'm running 20 dB and the next thing I play is going to make you deaf. So I'm going to bring that down so I don't kill you guys. But yeah, it's very exciting to see what's happening here in this race. It's very, very close, and I think it's swinging towards Donald Trump, but I don't think we should get too excited yet. I agree with my buddy Steve Mark Ryan from Australia, who loves Tesla. He said, voting, same-day voting, paper ballots, ID required, all day, 360-degree video surveillance of all voting centers, counting, same-day count, ballot scans, all day, 360-degree video of all voting being counted, synced to vote tally and scans. I agree with all this stuff. This is how we ensure election integrity. And Democrats would have you believe that, hey, it doesn't matter, guys. There is no concerns about election integrity. But at the same time, they don't want to do this. It makes you wonder why. And so I think with the SAVE Act, so to give you guys more details, the SAVE Act comes in at the end of the month. Or I should say this, there's probably going to be a standoff on September 30th about funding the government. And I believe that the Republicans are going to push for, especially if they have a good debate coming up here, they're going to push that Democrats have to do these things. And that if they don't, they're going to shut down the government. Now, that gets really interesting when you're shutting down the government before an election. I don't even pretend to know all the complications from that. That could have a lot of weird state funding, integrity issues as well. So I think it benefits Republicans, but I don't know for sure. And once I feel like I have really clear insight into that, I will let you know. But I'm leaning that way right now. But again, it's just all about the spin that you can create in Washington. But I do think that this will at least be a topic of conversation coming in through now to the end of the month in September. So think about that in the back of your head. Also, Eric Doherty. God, I can't say that name for some reason. He said, latest no toss-up map from Nate Silver's Electoral College. Model is a sizable Trump victory. This is from September 6th. It has Trump winning by 312 and Harris by 226. And Nate Silver is not biased towards Republicans in any way, guys, if you don't know who he is. So, and he had Harris winning a month ago. So this is very fascinating details. Also, Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen Reports says, not in our polling, coming next week. It says, breaking, Kamala Harris is favored to win the debate. So what he's saying, and this was per Polymarket odds for the debate. So this is actually good, guys. I actually think this is good. And I don't know if it has the link to the Polymarket. I'll have to find it. But I think it's good that expectations are that Harris wins this debate on Tuesday versus Donald Trump, when we're seeing things like from Nate Silver showing that Trump is winning, when we're seeing CNN polls showing that Trump is winning. Oh, and this is the thing that saved Trump's life, right? The illegal immigration data showing that there's potentially 200,000 people on average a month plus coming in through the southern border. Now, even if it's 100,000, I think that number is fucking disgusting and insane, and it needs to be fixed. But it's very fascinating. Anyway, I digress. But with Nate Silver showing the toss-up map going to these guys, with CNN showing that, if they're wrong by 1 point, Trump wins big. All this stuff, the Polymarket odds showing a 7-point lead for Trump. And it just everything that we're seeing, Rasmussen showing a 6-point lead for Trump. If people think that she is going to win the debate and she doesn't, what does that do for the odds? What does that do for the odds? Let me get caught up with chat real quick, and then we'll hop over to some other stuff and talk about it. Pursuit of Code. Are they active accounts? Yes. Tim W. 33 million bots. Tim, are you a Democrat? Tim, let me know. Pursuit of Code. Because Twitter was left-leaning before Elon. It was. Pursuit of Code. I only joined X because of Elon. Yeah, totally, dude. And here's the thing. Bots have been scrubbed massively. Anybody who came into this the beginning of 2023 or was in it in 2022 knows how bad the bot issues were. Right now, I can post stuff on my page, and I don't have one fucking bot trying to shill stuff at the bottom of my thread. Like, look at this. Like, this thread right here got over, 1,300 likes on it, right? I don't even know what the views are. I don't even think it's done spreading yet. But this one right here, it had 126,000 views, 316 reposts, and 1,300 likes, right? That's a pretty good audience. Let's go down here. And the crazy thing, if you just keep going down through here, you won't see anybody shilling anything in my chat. You won't see anything in here. These are people that follow me. And so I would make this argument. The bots are way better now than they used to be. Way better. Look at this. These are actual conversations with people talking about the topic at hand. Whereas before, I would get like Bitcoin bots. I would get all kinds of like scammy shit, since I do investing related material for the most part. And that's just not a thing anymore. And I think that's really beautiful. I think it's a good sign for X that bots don't constantly infiltrate everything that goes on in my page. I think that's really important, and I think that's changed a lot over time, and I think it's a good sign, right? I think it's a good sign for the integrity of accounts on here. And what I hope they do in the future, honestly, I hope they have the ability to run a poll with verified users, just people that pay, because I think that would ensure integrity even more, where you can't bot that shit because nobody wants to pay for a massive amount of bots every month. They don't want to pay $10, $15 for bots to be able to decide something on a poll. It's just not conducive. All right, let's see what else here. Lars, morning, Jesse. Hey, dude. Can you take a look at JPY USD, same level as on Monday, August 5th? Actually, it's all looking good, man. We could look at it, but it's great. Let me put it this way: you don't have to worry about the carry trade unwinding anytime soon. Could there be a second? No, not even close. We can talk about that later. Remind me at the end, since we're doing political stuff now. All right. So in the Kamala side of things, again, I just have a major problem. I have a major problem with the fact that Donald Trump doesn't bus in large amounts of people to his events, but Kamala Harris does. Ask yourself why. If everything about her is so organic, why do we need to see massive busloads of people? And when they're asked, on videos, numerous videos that I've seen where people walk up and interview these guys, especially at the DNC convention, other areas too, though. They were asked, like, is anybody paying for this? Some people have said, like, oh, yeah, we get lunch and they bring us here. But are they getting paid to come here? Are they getting paid to come here? People used to make those accusations about Trump all the time. I remember in 2016, ages ago, right? We don't see these kind of buses coming in for Trump. But look at this.
Yeah, there they fucking are.
You can tell the lady isn't pleased. Look at this. Is this just made to give the perception that she has this following, or to make it easier to where she can keep up with the audiences? And I'm not big on audience size, but I just think this is weird. What do you guys think? All right, good, Tim. Look at this. Look at this. Does anybody not see an inherent problem with this? When you have campaign events and you've got to bus in large amounts of people from God knows where? Is this not weird? As Tim Waltz loves to say? I don't know. I think it's weird. I think it's weird. You guys tell me what you think. All right, Trump Girl posted this. And again, just another video of this. Listen to this.
Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses. This was...
Why are they boarding shuttle? They were invited. Invited supporters are hopping on shuttle buses. Why can't people drive themselves? Why don't they care enough to come on their own? There are people that will literally wait hours or half a day, all day, just to get the opportunity to see Trump. Why are people having to be bussed in for her? Also, Andrew Cody said, Starlink is estimated to cost 15 to 30 billion to deploy the full constellation and can provide internet to the entire world for 15 to 30 billion dollars. Meanwhile, our government, Joe Biden's $42 billion broadband program, hasn't connected a single house, and they denied Starlink the bid for this because they don't want to give anything to Elon Musk. So we have the ability right now to connect the United States, all of it, for infinitely cheaper than what was budgeted for Joe Biden's program. But just like the unions that have bought in his soul, the higher-ups there, we have Joe Biden making decisions that aren't in the best interest of people in the United States, and instead showing his political motivations. And Kamala Harris is just a worse version of that. So we need Donald Trump in office so that we can actually do this for a hell of a lot cheaper. This is important. Jax, definitely hilarious. At least it's not AI, I suppose. Yeah. David, the buses might be full of illegal immigrants. Oh, that would be great. You know what? Maybe we can get them voter IDs and take them to the event and have them cheer. That's great. And then show all this support for Kamala Harris. Again, there's just things happening all around the United States, guys. Right here, this council meeting was abruptly shut down in Silacauga, Alabama. I don't even know where the fuck that is. I used to live in Alabama. I was in Mobile. My uncle was the mayor there for a long time. But residents demand transparency over an influx of illegals. This is real short. It's a minute.
Where their point of origin is? Because you're treating them like lawful U.S. citizens, which they are not.
Okay, so I'm going to cut it off because we've had 3 people to come up. I'm going to cut it off because we have no reason, again, we have no reason to launch an investigation or to treat people differently because of how they look. There's no reason for it.
Who said that?
Well, that's just what I'm saying. I just said that. Tiffany just said that.
Okay,
so
I didn't say that.
But I said it. But there's no reason for us to discuss this any further in
These
this
individuals
meeting.
came from Haiti.
Are valid concerns that we need to
How are
get
valid concerns, Laura? People come here all the time. We
These
visit
people came here
Birmingham.
from
We
Haiti.
visit other.
Haiti is a failed state.
So you have one person on the council saying these are valid concerns and we should hear them because they're saying these people are coming from Haiti and they're not U.S. citizens.
Their president was assassinated in 2021. There is no way the State Department can vet these
We're
individuals.
done, and I'm
You should
gonna
not
ask
cut
this.
him off. Please let him talk.
You
You
had
shut up
I
and
was
let
very
people
specific.
talk.
Okay.
So again, if you don't think the election, there are attempts all around the country to steal the election. I'm not saying there are. These people are. These people are concerned about it. I wouldn't say that, YouTube. I would never say that. Let's just be clear.
I'm gonna ask all of you to leave because this meeting is over. If having no other further business, I need a motion to adjourn. All right,
All right, I guess we're done. I guess we're done, guys. We don't care about the potential for illegal immigrants to be voting. Again, here you go. 60,000 residents, 20,000 imported Haitians. This lady looks like a crackhead, but let's listen to her real quick.
Neighbor.
Just Noel? Thank you.
I live at 426 Northwestern Avenue. Miss Skinner, who I'm not trying to put on the spot, is my neighbor.
Just talk to me, ma'am. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to.
This is crazy, though. There are 60,000 residents in Springfield, Ohio. Could somebody fact check that for me real quick? I have not looked at it. And it says 20,000 imported Haitians. Is that true? Can somebody like do a quick Grok search while we're watching this? Maybe I will.
Help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. My husband is.
All right, I'm actually starting to feel really bad for this lady. And they're right. The census, the population of Springfield, Ohio, as of the latest data in 2024, is approximately 57,910 people that live in this city. If there are 20,000 Haitians, that's shocking.
Is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed, but who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay.
All right, now I feel bad for calling her a crackhead. She seems like a perfectly reasonable person. So I said, how many illegal immigrants are in Springfield, Ohio, now that we know that there's 58,000 as the last 2024 census? It says, determining the exact number of illegal immigrants in any specific situation like Springfield, Ohio can be challenging due to the nature of undocumented immigration. Again, the fact we don't give a shit about documenting who's coming in and where they're going. However, based on various reports and discussions around 2024, there's been a significant influx of Haitian immigrants to Springfield, which estimates suggesting that the town's population might have increased by as many as 20,000 individuals, largely attributed to this group. This poor fucking lady. This town has grown 25, 30% in a period of time, and she's got people trying to squat on her property who don't speak English and that she is afraid of. This is America under Kamala Harris, in my opinion. Don't censor me, YouTube. It's just my fucking opinion if I can have one. Tim W. AOC worked at a bar prior to politics, now worth 28 million. I don't think she's actually worth that. I think that's a bullshit number. I've looked that up. I try to keep it real. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't like her, and I think she's made a lot of money off of government already, because that's how it works, right? In Washington, that's how it works. You get into the Senate, you get into the House, and it's legal for people to pay for your votes. Welcome to America. Not a good system. We need to fix it. We need to drain the fucking swamp. I can't even believe I'm saying that. When did I turn into this person? When did I turn into a far right-wing activist? It's crazy. And I'm kidding. I'm not really, but I actually agree with a lot of what they say. Ryan R. I'm a landscaper. In the last 3 years, we've probably had 40 different Brazilians come in. 9, 10 don't speak English. 9 out of 10 don't speak English. Almost all illegal. They used my parents, left me at the border. Yeah, I believe it, man. Ryan R. Boston area. It's very consistent. The good workers, solid guys are the ones pursuing work visas and learning the language. Yeah, no, and I actually, again, I don't mind people coming to this country that are from all races, all over the world, to live here, but it has to be controlled where we can afford it. You can't just bring in, even if it's the low mark of 100,000 people a year, and I don't think it is. I think it's at least 200,000 a year. But you can't bring in that amount of people, give them Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security benefits. Even Gavin Newsom with the state of Colorado had to veto his own bill for the $150,000 home loan stuff because it was so unpopular. And I think, from what I understand, a number of businesses and very wealthy individuals in the state said, "You do this shit, and we are out. We're out of this fucking state. We'll add ourselves to the list of the 500,000 plus that have left in the last several years." And how many have actually left? Let's just ask Grok about that too. How many people have been leaving California since the pandemic? That's a good way of putting it. Since the pandemic, because they had authoritarian lockdowns. Let's let Grok grind. Oh, Grok is so quick, dude. I love it so much.
Thank you.
All right. Nope, sorry. I better pause that, or we're gonna hear more. So here's what Grok has to say. He said, net migration loss. California has seen a net loss due to the domestic migration, with figures indicating that between 2021 and 2022, the state lost approximately 407,000 residents to other states. That's just between 2021 and 2022. Can you imagine? Like, let's see, cumulative loss. Over the past few years, particularly highlighted from 2020 to 2022, California has seen an exodus of over 500,000. So that's not even including 2023 and 2024. So you can see the pain that California is going through right now as a state. It is not healthy, guys. It is not healthy. And then you have this kind of shit going on all over the country, even these small towns where they're overrun. They're overrun. This lady is begging for a reason to stay where she is right now. She wants to stay in the city that she's lived in, but she's like, we can't handle this anymore. This is too painful of a life for us to be able to maintain, and that breaks my heart. Yes, 58,000 population. I just checked as well. Thanks, Luke. Pursued a code, made a lot of money on TPL, Texas Pacific Land Corporation, knowing people will flood there. Yeah, that's sad, but I mean, whatever helps with the money, right? Well, maybe we'll use that as our hedge. If Kamala gets elected, we can figure out who suffers the most and then who tends to benefit off of their suffering so that we can come up with a good hedge. I almost don't even want to participate in that hedge, but whatever. J.D. Vance said, why does Kamala Harris want less protection for our kids in schools? This is a guaranteed way to endanger our children. So again, we had a recent school shooting where Democrats are very happy to say that they want to take our guns. Let's listen to this, though. This is Kamala Harris a while ago here talking. It looks like 2020 Democrats speak at the 2019 Presidential Justice Forum at Benedict College. Let's see what she had to say about securing our schools.
Being incarcerated for a couple of days is traumatic, much less the weeks, months, and years that we're seeing that happen. And so part of my plan is also a reduction of that. And then also, again, what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools. And taking police officers out of schools.
So if a police officer wouldn't have been in the school where they just had a recent shooting, there would have been a lot more people dead. I think there were 4 dead. There were 2 teachers and 2 students. And then when the resource officer came out with his gun, let me know if I'm wrong, guys, in chat. I don't want YouTube to let me know that I'm wrong later on because I misspoke and then take down my videos and strike me again and to where I can't talk to you guys for a week. So
we need to deal.
If I'm wrong, let me know. But this lady is talking about taking them out of schools so that our children don't have protection from a police officer in case there's an active shooter. How do you guys feel about that? Can you tell me in chat what you think about that, if you think that's a good idea?
With the reality and speak the truth about the inequities around school discipline.
Are the police disciplining people in schools? They're just trying to keep them safe. Isn't that okay? Don't we want that? I want that for my 11-year-old daughter. Do you guys want that? All right, George says, breaking, Democratic officials in Denver, Colorado are planning to use an elementary school building to house Kamala's illegal immigrants. Mayor Mike Johnston's spokesperson, John Ewing, was asked whether the school building was being considered, and he said, the location you reference has been looked at as a possible site to provide temporary shelter for newcomers. No decisions have been made. How are we paying for this? I can tell you it's your future. It's the value of your dollar. It's whether or not we're a world reserve currency in the future. We don't care. There are no borders with the Democratic Party right now. And this is what we get. We get taking over schools and putting illegal immigrants in them to try and house them. But then the next wave comes in, and the next, and the next, and the next. And like New York City, where like 1% of the people that have come through the system have been employed per Cash Jordan on YouTube, then like what is going to happen? What's going to happen? You can't even blame some of these people to turning to crime just to be able to take care of themselves and feed themselves, because there's no services to support them. And we're having to potentially put them in fucking schools now. And New York City's having to dump over 40,000 illegal immigrants just on the street because they can't take care of them and they need to get ready for the next wave. How does that benefit our society? Can somebody tell me? Can you guys tell me, please? I'd love to know more. And then again, Mike Pompeo just talking about this, what happened recently where we had a Chinese spy who had infiltrated the Democratic Party. Not a good look. Not good stuff for us. All right. Lifelong Democrat Alan Dershowitz. I am no longer a Democrat. So this is what's happening, I think, with a lot of the Jewish population. I also think it's happening with a lot of blacks right now. I think they're disgusted with what they're seeing. And the Hispanic population, actually, for the people that have been here a long time, they're very conservative. They lean to the right. Look at Florida and how well Ron DeSantis has done there and how well Republicans. It's not even a contention state. It used to be when I was younger. But listen to what this lifelong Democrat has to say about his party.
There were no fine people at the debate, at the standing outside of the convention center and screaming, Hamas will win, screaming, we are all Hamas, screaming, there was nothing wrong with October 7th. What's wrong with October 7th?
And also, guys, I just want you to be clear. If you watch a bunch of videos, I can probably bring some up if there's interest on it. Not today, but like in a future video. On university campuses, especially liberal ones, this movement for the Free Palestine group is also what you'll find everywhere. There is Marxist, communist documentation and socialist documentation and capitalism bad documentation. This movement, the Free Palestine movement, is a movement against the West and our values and our society, and a movement towards communism and socialism. And I mean, I think a lot of it is paid for by the same people, you know, the people in Qatar that helped fund what was happening in Gaza with the terrorists. We get billions of dollars per year. And look up this figure, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong about it. That get flooded into our universities from people that are not friendly towards the United States in order to be able to push away from Western ideals and push more towards like a World Economic Forum type view of open borders, communism, socialism, and anti-West. And I think that's disgusting. But let's listen to Alan. He's a good dude. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Somebody said, no, there aren't fine people and they don't make fine points. And so I was disgusted at the Democratic National Convention. Absolutely disgusted.
We're speaking with Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Avi Dershowitz. So are you ready to leave the Democratic Party?
Democratic Party. I am no longer a Democrat. I am an independent. I'll decide who to vote for at the last minute based on totality of the circumstances. I want to see how they deal with Iran. I want to see how they deal if Iran attacks the United States. I want to encourage the current administration to support Israel. So I'm not revealing my vote until, maybe November 1st.
I want to say this, though. I think I know where his vote is going. And I think there's a lot of people that have switched to independent. And all that means is that they're no longer Democrats. I don't think it's the other way around. Now, if you were to ask me this same question in 2020, I would have said that I thought a lot of people were switching from Republican to Democrat because the mainstream media had complete control of social media. There was no X. And they had really good talking points that were pushing people away from the Republican Party. And so, including myself. And so I think that shift is going in the other direction, and I think it's a good thing. All right. I wanted to see this real quick. This is a good one. It says the difference between big government and big business is big government can take you to jail, or shoot you if you don't comply. Thomas Massey. That's a good one. That's one I went over again. But again, and I think some of these others, I'm good on the Kamala ones. We went over these before. We're not going to rehash. So let's go down to Trump here and talk about that. And again, if you guys have any topics, anything I'm missing, I'll get caught up with chat right now. Anything I'm missing, let's talk about it. Let me see, just getting down. Pursuit. Oh, we already talked about him. Tim W. Can't wait for Elon to do an audit. Oh, dude, I think if Elon Musk is in charge of Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, which is a great name. Maybe it spikes Dogecoin. I don't know. But I think he will crush it. I think him being in charge of an audit would be amazing, and it will be incredibly beneficial to our country if we can actually start reducing the budget. And I'll probably reference a couple things with Elon Musk here in a minute, because there are a lot of things happening around the world. Brazil is a key point of this. And like I've said in my previous chat here, the Washington Post, run by Jeff Bezos, is starting to flip towards pro Elon and pro X, which is a weird transition. CNN started calling out Kamala for her lies on video. Like I said, one of the previous videos that I showed you guys, and just others that are flipping, that are very left leaning, that are starting to change the narrative and starting to actually go after Kamala Harris and be in support of companies like X and say that it's bad for what's happening in Brazil. And I'm going to show you Brazil in a second. Actually, you know what? I want to show it to you right now because it's exciting. It's interesting to see what's happening in Brazil, guys. And there is, I don't want I got to watch what I say here all the time now. From what I've seen, there are allegations out there, and they appear to have some validity. Look it up yourself, or maybe I'll pull it up in a future video if there's interest, that show that the U.S. government, all the way from the White House to the feds to the CIA to the military, were involved in the election, ensuring integrity for the 2022. Oh, nice, I get balloons. For the 2022 election, where Lula, communist, or at least that's my perception, was running against Bolsonaro. Is it Bolsonaro or whatever? It doesn't matter. A very Trump-like character that was running in Brazil. And in a nail-biter, Lula won. Now, this is going to come in really handy in a second. You're going to have to see this. But I want you guys to see a rally that was produced yesterday for free speech. And then I want to show you what also happened yesterday with Lula's parade. You got to see this. This is fucking crazy. This is a sign of what's going to happen with us, too, I think, if Kamala wins. So watch this. Oh, turn that down. Sorry for the sound. Look at the size of this. It's just everywhere, guys, all the way down different streets. There's just massive amounts of people in different directions. That's just one of them. Let's say this video. Oh, wait. I've been called out. This isn't the rally. I got more, though. We'll see if those are community noted. This is a rally of São Paulo on February 2024 called for former President Bolsonaro, not the current. Okay. All right. So this is in support of Bolsonaro from February 2024. Before he lost his election. This is good. This is why community notes exist, right? Let's go down. We can find more. We got more, guys. So let's look at this. This is showing, so this says Lula's parade versus Bolsonaro's parade. So this is one where it shows what happened with Bolsonaro when he was doing his little thing that they do I don't know if it's every year or what it is. And this is showing Lula's. And then I want to show you what happened. There's got to be some real footage out there. I know there is. So we'll look at that too. I know I've got it in this link, but watch this. This is Lula. This is Lula's parade yesterday. Tell me what you guys think of it. What do you guys think of this? Does this remind you of anything? Like North Korea? Or China with Xi Jinping? China has more people. They actually have... Isn't this interesting? This is the sitting government. Doesn't this look like a dictatorship to you? Doesn't this look like a dictatorship to you? And I've got other videos of this parade. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Where are all the people that are cheering? Oh, there you go. There's a couple of them. We got some people, guys. We got hundreds of people. Hundreds. Absolutely hundreds. This side is empty. Did you see that other side? Wait. Let me go back. Look at the left side. Empty. Now, I'm going to get to a point on this in a second, but I want to look at more. Let's go down. Mario says this isn't North Korea. This is Brazil. This is Brazil, a perfectly free country a while ago. Okay, here we go. This has got impeach Moraes. Okay, so so this is the one from yesterday. This is the conversation from yesterday. So we had one that was bad. This is a good one.
Fora Xandão! Fora Xandão! Fora Xandão! Fora Xandão!
So this is the rally that was held yesterday. Look at this. All right, here we go. Here's a good one. Okay. Here's the rally that was held yesterday. This one got sound? No sound. So compare this to Lula's parade. And what do you think? Do you think democracy exists in this country anymore? And I've got other stuff I want to show you too. I'll show you that under the Tesla segment. I'll jump into that real quick next, and then we'll go into Trump, okay? But I want you guys to see, I just want to compare and contrast. Oh, yeah. Here's one right here. Look at this. Democracy. So this is basically saying we want democracy, or it's either democracy or it's Moraes, this judge who keeps imprisoning political opponents for nothing, who's asking for censorship to occur on X, not for anything that's misinformation, just because they don't like the other political party. The same kind of stuff that we're talking about doing here in the United States, and I'll show you with Elon Musk in a second how hard they're going after him. But look at this. Enough is enough. Moraes is immoral. This is Nicholas Ferreira. I'm probably butchering that. He is amazing. This kid has had one of the best speeches I've ever heard from anybody talking about his country and the fact that they're losing democracy. It is fucking beautiful. And he is literally, he's like the primary speaker that was happening in this region. But again, this is good. This is good stuff. It's good. Look at this. This is Voldemort himself here. This is Moraes. This is a real fucking picture of this man. I don't know about the gown. I don't know if this is CG. I don't know if this is AI. It doesn't look like it should be real. If it is real, it's even more frightening. But I love the fact that we're seeing so many people supporting him right now, that are supporting the overthrowing of Moraes and supporting people like Ferrara. Am I saying his name right? Yeah. Sure, Nicholas. We'll just leave it at that. Now, I want to jump over real quick. I'm going to jump over to the Tesla part because there are some talking points here that I want to go over before we go back. He looks like the Emperor in Star Wars. I totally agree. All right, so let's skip some of these things that are very Tesla specific. Let's skip that. I want to show you. Oh, yeah. Oh, and this is just the craziness. This is applicable, actually, to what we're talking about right now. This is MSNBC talking about how Elon Musk shouldn't be using free speech because well, I'll let you. I'll give you my summary after he says his own words so eloquently.
So the critical element in thinking about Elon Musk is, like any American, he has a right to his own opinion and he has a right to express his opinion. However,
yeah, he looks like Satan, doesn't he, Jeff? Okay, so let's look at this here. So Musk has a right to his own opinion, guys. That's good. That's good, right? We like that.
That right is not unlimited, and he
not unlimited. Wait, what? All right, first, freedom of speech, First Amendment. Well, okay, all right.
is under some special limitations that wouldn't apply to normal people.
Okay, but those special limitations are probably in regard to like the releasing of military secrets or things that are specific to what they're doing in regard to national security, right? That surely couldn't interfere with just his ability to speak at all.
Because his companies, specifically Starlink and SpaceX, are government contractors, and as such, he has obligations to the government that...
Look at the bottom. Study details impact of Elon Musk's 2024 misinformation. Are you seeing the narrative here that we're talking about? We also have people on MSNBC saying he should be imprisoned.
Would, for any normal person, and should for him, require him to moderate his speech.
What speech? What specific speech? Why should his speech be moderated outside of specific security concerns for the U.S. military, like and the government as a whole? If it's actual, like, oh, hey, you released something about SpaceX and now they know what we can do militarily, and that was something you weren't supposed to do. I get it, right? But how should his speech, generalized speech, be limited by fucking anything for this government? Let's listen to the rest of this.
In the interest of national security. So what you have...
National security. What?
Is somebody who runs really strategic defense and aerospace projects for the federal government, who's actively undermining the government.
Undermining the government? Wait a second. You mean he can't have an opinion that differs from the existing government? That's not allowed? Is that under his contracts with the NSA?
Which is paying him. And somewhere in there.
Oh, because they're paying. Oh, so because they have some contracts with Elon Musk companies, he can't say anything that disagrees with the narrative of the U.S. government. Is that the America you guys want to live in?
Is a legal case that needs to be prosecuted.
Prosecuted? You want to go after Elon Musk because he can't say things against the U.S. government narrative because he gets paid by them. And so because he receives a page, that'd be like, hey guys, you know what? You had a problem at work. It was like racism or it was something else. And they pay you. So you can't do anything about that. You know, somebody was sexually harassing you at work. You're a young lady. Oh, but you can't do anything about that. You know why? They pay you. And the fact that you're talking about this should really be prosecuted. You should go to prison. Does this make any fucking sense? This is the narrative that left-stream media is pushing. This will get worse under Kamala Harris. If you want to see Tesla fail, if you want to see us never go to Mars, if you want to see this country disintegrate into chaos, vote for Kamala Harris because that's what you're going to get. This is the narrative they're pushing already. Imagine what happens if she gains power.
Here's more on that because
it's shocking. But anyway, here's the good stuff I wanted to show you, right? This is what the people of Brazil are saying. Thank you, Elon Musk. There's more here, I think, too, that I saved. There's so much good stuff going on with SpaceX I want to talk about, too. I think there's a few other things. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And again, where is X banned? Iran, China, Russia, Myanmar, Uzbekistan, North Korea, Turkmenistan, and now Brazil. And if Harris has anything to do with it, from what she said in her own words previously, not making shit up, she's kind of said that, hey, this is what we should do. We should limit speech, that we could see that same kind of thing here. We could. I didn't say we were going to, YouTube. Please don't ban me. Fuckers. All right. Let me see. I think there might be one other one here, and maybe I can't find it. Maybe I can't find it. It was so good, though. It was so good. It was so good. Anyway, I can't find that one. I'm going to give up on it. Or you know what? Maybe I'll just do a super quick search, and then we'll jump over to the Trump stuff, guys. Because there's a lot going on. Also, are there any topics I'm missing? Is there anything I've mischaracterized that needs clarification? I don't want to provide misinformation. That would be bad. We can't have anybody misspeak ever. Otherwise, they should be silenced for life. So if I misspoke, you guys need to tell me. I thought this was fun. Right? John LaFarve says, there's a massive free speech protest in Brazil today. In the media coverage of CNN, nothing. Associated Press, nothing. Reuters, nothing. New York Times, nothing. But what are they doing? They're attacking Elon Musk on MSNBC. But nobody gives a shit that these people want to be free. We want that, right? We don't want communism to rule. We want people to be free. All right, let me see. There's one video of this lady talking that I thought just was great. I want to see if I can find it super quick. I'm sorry. And if I can, I can't. Oh, and this is just Kamala Harris in her own words talking about
companies and these online
talking about censoring companies and what they say.
platforms, which are so powerful in their ability to.
Yeah, right? OXDGen. You said we need to remind public servants that they're here for the people. We the people. We the people. Isn't that the way our Constitution fucking starts? Can you guys tell me? Is that not in there? Are they not our public servants?
To impact perception about an issue and to influence behaviors. Let's be clear about that. There have to be standards, and he and his account should be taken down. We saw in
This is about Trump.
El Paso that shooter in his manifesto was informed by how Donald Trump uses that platform.
So she's saying a political opponent who is the I think he was the president at the time. I'll have to go back and check. But maybe this is more recently. But that his account should be removed. So they were literally talking about this and blaming him for it and talking about removing the account of a sitting president. Looking back at that, isn't that horrific?
And this is a matter of corporate responsibility. Twitter should be held accountable and shut down that site. It is a matter of safety and corporate accountability.
Can I post this, YouTube? Is this okay? I mean, Kamala Harris says in her own fucking words that Twitter should have been shut down. So can I infer, using my tiny little brain, I know it's not approved by YouTube, my little brain, but can I infer that maybe she might want to still do this shit? Or is it not relevant because she didn't say that today? And she could always change her mind tomorrow. And so if she changes her mind tomorrow and says publicly that she's not going to do that, then everything's okay. And I don't have to worry about this. Is that how things work? Because I'm going to take her words at face value and say that she's probably a really fucking horrible person that wants to control this stuff. My opinion. Just my 2 cents, okay? Let me see. Oh, I so wanted to show this. Again, it looks like there's another one of these. I'll have to post something on X that says, hey, this is the wrong crowd, but here's the right one. Here we go. This is Lula. Have you guys heard from Lula? Let's look at this. All right, let's listen to Lula. Let's listen to Lula and what this is the supreme leader of Brazil. I don't know if I can say that. YouTube, I was joking. China is an example of the development for the world. This is all a part of the World Economic Forum, guys. I used to think this stuff was fucking crazy, but it's not. It's very real. They've listed their agenda. Klaus Schwab has very clearly listed his agenda and even talked about how much control they've gained over other countries around the world. And they even had a summer meeting. It wasn't televised as much as they usually like to do. They usually like to make a big deal out of it. They don't want to do that anymore, though, because it's gotten a bad public perception. But they were talking about how they're trying to basically encourage the next generation. They tried to win the election in Argentina, too. Klaus Schwab has a video where he talks about how they're making a lot of progress in Argentina. Oh, sorry, Klaus. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. I don't think that worked out. Javier Milei doesn't really seem to be down for the WEF or China, so I'm sorry for your loss there. And how they were making such positive inroads with people like Trudeau in Canada. Well, Canada now looks like they're going to lose their fucking election, poor Trudeau, and that a conservative right-wing person is going to win. And if Trump wins too, boy, North and South America are lost to the World Economic Forum. But let's and then this guy's going to be real lonely. I wonder how that's going to look for Brazil. Do you think that maybe things might get a little weird there if we start imposing sanctions on them in the future and turning them into Cuba overnight? Do you think the people of Brazil and some of the gangs in Brazil that live in the barrios, do you think they're going to be really happy with the current sitting president? Let's see. But let's listen to what the rest of this very kind man has to say. He looks kind, too. His face is really kind.
In the past year, traditionally conservative governments like those in Chile and Colombia have been replaced.
Now I'm playing something from Tucker. Can I play something from this guy, YouTube? Is that okay? Or will I immediately get censored like with Robert F. Kennedy videos? I just want to know.
Replaced by far-left leaders sympathetic to China. Bolsonaro is the only remaining pro-American head of state in all of South America. From China's
not anymore. We got Javier.
Perspective, Lula is the perfect candidate. If China wants to make Brazil effectively a colony and
keep in mind, all this happened.
Lula is in favor of China. Doesn't that give China incentive to interfere in your election? And do you have evidence that that is happening?
Olha, não posso desconfiar de outro país nesse sentido, né? Essas questões estratégicas a gente trata aqui reservadamente. Mas há interesse de vários países no Brasil.
So again, he couldn't say much at the time. I think looking back at it, he probably wishes that he would have, and he would have said more against this. Finger says, what a shame to pick Trump. Sadly, Kamala and Dems are unvotable. They're completely unvotable. Trump isn't my favorite one, but he's growing on me, man. If you haven't seen that Econ Club interview on just what he's planning on doing for this country, it was amazing. He was so articulate. It's the best video I've ever seen from him. And if that's the person that comes in with this next presidency, I cannot wait for him to win. It's actually going to be way better than I ever would have guessed. And again, even after, in case you guys don't know, the Brazilian ban, they had to take this stuff back. They had to actually, they had to get rid of the $8,800 a day fine thing. That's gone. There's still a ban, but it's the #1 news app for free and grossing in the country of Brazil by far. Nobody comes close. So it's just fascinating that again, this thing isn't going anywhere. Oh yeah, let's listen to this. Tim Walz, Minnesota Attorney General, just thanked Brazil for banning X and attacking Elon Musk on September 2nd. Let's listen to this real quick, okay? Let's listen to this real quick. And this is his Attorney General. His Attorney General. Not Tim Walz, but he said basically, bravo to Brazil.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or.
And this is a classic, right? There's no guarantee to free speech, and Kamala wants to shut down X. What do you people think? How could, if you're on X and you're a Democrat or a liberal or an independent, how can you, and you've got any kind of following, how can you vote for Kamala Harris when you know she's going to shut down the platform you're on? Just for your own self-interest. Why would you allow that? And if you like the ability to have free speech, why would you allow that? Why would you vote for her?
Or hate speech, and especially around our democracy. I think we need.
Again, it's a classic. I don't need to play it more. Let's get to Trump. Let's get to Trump. We did a lot of other stuff here. Oh, Trump. All right. So we're done with all this other bullshit. Let's get to Trump. And then we'll finish up here. And then I don't know if you guys saw, I do have a Bitcoin mining video. I think I set it for 6 o'clock this afternoon. I'm going to try and do it justice. It's going to be my first pass. It won't be perfect. I'm taking a little bit of work from James from Invest Answers, and a little bit of work from Sebastian Ski, two people who I think do a great job of kind of compiling data. I'm going to try and kind of take some of that and give my own view and maybe restructure some of it visually in a different way. It's going to be the first pass. I'm going to make more. It won't be perfect. It won't be my best work, I'm sure. But I'm going to try and do some justice to it while still spending time with my family today. But so watch that later at 6 if you're interested in it. I actually think Bitcoin miners are at rock bottom prices, and it's going to get a lot better soon. But let's listen to George posted, reporter asked Trump if he would do everything he has done in the past 8 years all over again, from getting impeached, cheated against, and even shot at, assuming the cheating was legit. And here's his response. Let's listen, guys.
Never seen the enthusiasm and the love that we have now. This has really been incredible. And if I didn't think we did well last time, I wouldn't have done this, because, you know, it's a little tough life. It's not the easiest. You get shot at, other things happen, other routine events happen. But we're going to do it for one reason. I wouldn't have changed. They asked me just a little while ago, a reporter said, "Sir, if you had to do it again, would you do it again?" I said, absolutely, because we're going to make America great again, and that's better than my life. Right?
I don't know. I don't know. Again, I personally think Trump can be a very selfish person and very self-centered, or at least in the way he speaks, right? It's very much like me, biggest rallies ever. Oh, we're going to have the biggest, we have the best, we're the best at everything. And I don't think that carries well, but I do think this man is changing. One of the biggest complaints I listened to him more recently, and I listened to a lot of him to try and figure out where his heart is really at, right? And how genuine he truly is. And I'm starting to believe he's really there now. I wouldn't have said that in 2020. I wouldn't have said that maybe in 2016. I don't know. But I think he's actually being really genuine right now. I think getting shot at, actually, in his age, he's just much older in life. Think about where you would be in your late 70s. And what your view would be if you just got shot at and you've had a pretty rocky road politically, and you're running for president. Like, you'd want your legacy to be wonderful, right? You'd want to leave, especially this man for over 40 years has been talking about a lot of the same stuff he's talking about right now. You would want to implement that. You would want to drain the swamp. You would want to reduce the size of government. You would want to make it to where manufacturing comes back here. You would want to tear this motherfucker down, right? That's what you'd want. You'd want to leave a legacy that's strong, because you don't even, like, he can have faith, he can believe in Christianity, but in the end, we have our faith, but we don't know what comes next. So this man is reaching the end of his life, and he at least wants to leave this place where people look at him with admiration when he's gone, because that's all he for sure knows that he might have, right? Irregardless of who you are and what you believe, that's all you for sure know you'll have. You can have a strong belief in what comes next, and you can have a strong faith that gives you the assurance that that's what comes next. But in the end, all you really know, unless you've died and went somewhere and then came back, is that you want your legacy to be strong. And I truly believe that's what he's looking for right now. All right, so we went through some of this. All right, here, Vivek. And so I believe what he's saying. I believe that he is literally like, again, who after getting shot at and almost having their fucking head explode, don't censor me, YouTube. I'm saying so many things that are probably going to get this video demonetized. But after those things happen, who would immediately jump up and say, let me stand up, and then say, fight, fight, fight? Who would say that? Who would say that? Like, who would immediately put themselves into danger? There's a reason Elon Musk immediately endorsed him. So again, I think his perception, he wants better people in office, and he's got an army of them right now. He said his biggest regret about his first administration is he didn't know who to put into office for anything, and he just had to take the advice of other Republicans that were around him, because again, he didn't think he was going to win. Like, initially he was going for it, but then he won, and he's like, oh shit, I'm not an insider, I don't know what I'm doing, who should I put into office? And so he put in people that were recommended to him. And he regretted that because he didn't like the majority of them. Well, now think about the people he's got. He's got Elon Musk. He's got people like Balaji. If you don't know who that is, figure it out. He's got Vivek Ramaswamy, who even after losing to him in the primaries is very much an adamant supporter of him and the current Republican Party. He's got Tulsi Gabbard, who came over from the dark side of the Democrats as previously a presidential candidate. He's got Robert F. Kennedy, again, the Kennedy legacy of Democrats, going and supporting a Republican president for the first fucking time in history. And he's got J.D. Vance, and he's got so many more really intelligent, smart, hardworking people that are supporting him right now. I think that says a lot about what his administration is going to be capable of doing, and I'm really excited about it. Let's listen to Vivek, though, talk about Kamala.
One thing I want to caution against, Sean, is exactly what happened in June. What I expect is that Donald Trump will once again run circles around Kamala Harris, just as he did with Joe Biden in that last.
I hope so. I don't actually think Trump did that good in the last debate, but Joe Biden was literally dead. I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean. He was just like not even functioning as a human being.
Debate. The question is that going to be good for us in winning this election or not? Because last time around, it was the catalyst for something drastic happening afterwards, which is in that case swapping out Joe Biden as the nominee. And I think if Kamala Harris
Vivek called this so much earlier, he said this was coming the whole time.
Really does tank in this debate, and I think there's a decent chance that happens. I think there are strange things that could happen between now and November, because the Democrats, they have been playing this as, in some ways, one step ahead.
You're suggesting that we may live through another change in candidates if she didn't have a good debate?
No, I don't think it's going to be a change in the candidates. The ballots have already been printed, but I do think that we have a machine that we're up against that has demonstrated that it is going to go to great measures to defeat Donald Trump. You trace this back over the last year and a half. You've got prosecutions. You've got civil cases. You've got extrajudicial attempts to remove him from the ballot. They told us Joe Biden was definitively going to be the nominee, then negotiated for the earliest ever presidential debate in U.S. history because they knew there was a good chance Biden would underperform. Once he did, they swapped him out. I think we've got to learn from those lessons, Sean, to say that they're still going to have many more tricks up their sleeve. So the two scenarios are either Kamala Harris overperforms. I don't expect that to happen. Or what I do expect to happen is Donald Trump to seriously defeat her in this debate as he did last time around. But don't expect that to be the end of this election. I think there's going to be more tricks left up their sleeve.
All right, I won't pretend, or I won't say what I think is happening and what he's trying to say, but I think we should all know by now that it's pretty scary what might happen next. I'm going to get caught up with chat because it's pretty lively right now. All right, so Midwest Cannabis. What's up, bruh? Trump is the best choice for America, hands down. I agree. Right now, he definitely is, man. There's just it's literally democracy and capitalism or communism. It's whatever you want. If you want to. Yeah, there's a funny figure here that came from Charlie Kirk, and I looked into it, and it was right. He said he's a brilliant person, by the way. I might have to. I'm probably going to watch and probably going to play a video sometime here that he does. He goes to college campuses all around the United States, especially liberal ones, and he has hey, let's chat. And there's protesters that will go to these, but he talks to these young people about their views about communism and all the stuff that they bring up. And he's amazing. But one of the things that he said was this guy was talking about this kid on this campus, because again, they're getting indoctrinated for this stuff, was talking about how he was a Marxist, and he was 18 years old. He was very young. He was a Marxist. His dad was a Republican. But he said that he believed in Marxism. He believed in this utopia in the future, and that he didn't think he would see it in his lifetime. And he wasn't militant or revolutionary, but he believed that this is the way that society needed to progress. And he just gets utterly destroyed by Charlie Kirk, who lets him know. He goes, well, why do you think that would work? And he goes, we've literally over the last, we've literally had over 100 different examples throughout history where this has been attempted, and it's failed miserably every single time. Why would it work now? And then the kid makes an argument about like robotics, autonomy, and all this. And he goes, yeah, sure. He goes, those things are going to happen. He goes, we will have these progressions, but there will always be people that are willing to work harder than others. And you don't want to make it where they all get the same thing when some people like Elon Musk are trying to change the future of humanity. You want to give them incentives in order to be able to do such things. And again, why think that socialism and communism is going to work when it's failed 100 times throughout history, and you can't give me one good example where it's actually worked? And though some people will bring up, they'll be like, oh, there's social programs in these smaller countries in Europe that also have vast amounts of resources like oil or gas or whatever, and they've done really, really good. Sure, on a small scale, you can have social programs that do well, but the United States has those fucking too, guys. We have social programs. It doesn't mean we're socialist. It doesn't mean we redistribute wealth. It doesn't mean we tax the fuck out of everybody that has money and then give it to the poor. It doesn't mean that. And that all sounds good. It all sounds so nice. It sounds so pretty and so nice. But it's not, and it doesn't work. And it's horrific. But anyway, it's good that we have people like this that are calling out the bullshit and letting people know actual facts with history. And he asked the kid, give me one example where it's worked. And the kid couldn't fucking do it. And of course he couldn't, right? Very, very, like professors can't give you one that worked. They can't. None of them can. Because there is an example that's ever worked. All right, let me just see here. Let me get caught up in chat. We'll roll down further, and then we'll proceed ahead. And we're getting closer to done. Not too many more minutes left, unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about. Throw it up. Pursuit of Code said Canada's conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Oh, that's a rough name. We'll call him Pierre. Has a YouTube channel. It's awesome. I did not know that. I'm gonna look it up, dude. Thank you. Pursuit of Code. One of my fave videos is how do you like them apples video where he destroys a media shill. I will take a look at that. Thank you, dude. I love you. I love that you guys throw out things that I don't know and teach me. Hopefully, while I'm teaching you something. Pseudo, that's false about AOC. It's been community noted that that she's worth about 200K. Yeah, okay, that's what I said too. Thank you, Pseudo. Midwest Cannabis, the GOAT would say that. Jax, I just said no wars and left it at that. They got very upset. I must have missed part. Oh, Jax said, this is going to be the USA if Kamala wins, no doubt. I just said wars. All right, I don't totally know the context, but we'll move on. All right, Manny247 says, Jesse, fight. Hell yeah. Maytag, Jesse's the GOAT. Thank you. Hey, if you guys could hit the light while you're here, it's greatly appreciated. Giancarlo Perez, soccer player. The longest name in this chat. Good morning, Jesse. Keep up the good fight. Thanks, dude. Jason, glad to be here on a Sunday. Glad to have you, dude. Toke, yo, love your content. Keep doing what you do, Jesse. Thank you, sir. Kenny Brown, I can't wait till I can watch TV on X instead of YouTube. Keep up the good work with Jesse. Thank you, dude. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's coming, man. They already have the app that's out there. I use it on my Fire TV. The only problem is it's just not as good yet as YouTube. They need to do something like a YouTube TV, YouTube combination, and just keep getting people on it. And I'm going to work. So I don't know if I'll have it done this weekend, but I'm playing around with something called Restream, so I can start streaming to X and Rumble. I barely looked at Rumble. It looks like there's a ton of ads. I don't know if I love it yet, but I know all the conservatives are on there. So I'm least likely to get banned between X and Rumble. So I'm doing it. So I will be checking that out. People tell me to go to Nostra for like social media, and it's like the Bitcoin one. It's decentralized. Maybe that'll be a thing in the future, but I'm not going to that until I lose hope with what Elon Musk is capable of doing. If Trump wins and Elon Musk is still in power, I think the world is going to be a beautiful place, and I don't know that I'll need Nostra right away, but if I need Noster, I'm going to go to it. Kenny Brown. I can't wait till I can. Oh, yeah, that was that one. Mark LeBlanc. Pseudo, Nim, new community note. She ain't worth shit. Okay, I like that. Toke, she freezes for planned. She freezes for planned interviews. Imagine going up against Trump. Oh, you're talking about Kamala. I do agree. Trump gonna walk through her. I hope so, dude. Trump last time though, when he was Trump could have just. He could have done a lot better in the last debate with Joe Biden. I didn't like the fact that he was like talking about how his golf game was better and just stupid shit. Again, I'm going to critique people. If Trump wins, guys, you and your hardcore Republican MAGA, I'm going to say things that I disagree with him. That's how I work. I think about everything individually, and I try to use critical thinking skills to determine whether things are right or wrong, and the best path for us. And so I will do that if Trump wins too. It's the way I am. So if you don't like thinking for yourself or hearing different opinions, you're not going to like me after he gets elected. Luke Automata. So many lives have been lost. I grew up Muslim, but I continually stand by Israel, the only light in the dark region of the globe. I agree, Luke. And I shit on radical Islam all the time on X, and people call me racist. And then I have to be like, you guys realize I'm talking about a religion, right? That would be like being an atheist and saying you don't like Christianity and then people calling you a racist. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But people still do it. I don't have a racist bone in my body. Now, don't get me wrong. Are there past traumas from when I lived in Alabama where I went to a school that was 97% black and like 1% white? Or 95% black, other ethnicities, and 1% white, and I got the shit beat out of me by a number of people because of the color of my skin. There could be some of that, but man, if anything, it taught me the plight of being a minority more than anything, I think. And I don't try to judge people by their skin. I very much love Martin Luther King's approach of a future where people don't look at your skin color and instead judge you by your merit. That's the same kind of approach that I believe a lot of capitalists believe and that Elon Musk believes and many others. They scream of meritocracy because we should judge people by who they are, not what they look like, not what their sexual orientation is, not what logo they have on their shirt. We shouldn't want to attack people because they have a MAGA hat on or because they have, gay pride flag. None of that shit fucking matters. We should treat people like individuals. It's the way America should be. And treat them by their merit and try and get along. And again, I don't hate Muslims. I don't care if somebody's a Muslim, but if they believe that fucking 9-year-olds is acceptable, I've got a problem with them. If they believe that women can be stoned to death because they said something that the family didn't like and it was embarrassing, they can fuck off. You know, those kind of things, they don't go well in my book. And again, if they think it's okay to throw gay people off of roofs or just people that are accused of it, then they can fuck off. And thank you, Israel, for fighting the good fight against these horrible fucking people. And I'm sorry that innocent children and babies die. But I can also tell you this. I can tell you that they tell them to stay in the fucking buildings before they're bombed. I don't think most people know this, but there's something called knocking, where they will literally drop like something that won't bring down the building on the building to let them know the bombing is coming. They also drop fucking pamphlets on a lot of these to let them know that something's coming. And then the people that are in them are told, if you want to be a martyr for Allah, you need to stay here and die with your family. And I've listened to people who are like, yeah, they're going to bomb us. We're not leaving. And their little fucking kids are sitting in the room. So I don't have empathy for that. I don't have empathy for people that tell their children to hate the people across the border and want to murder them and then cheer their deaths of innocent women and children and fucking babies that were murdered, raped, everything you can think of. If you didn't watch that stuff, I got shut down on X multiple times because of the gore that I posted in regard to what happened in Israel. And it was fucking disgusting. I've seen all kinds of things in my life. It was the worst fucking shit I've ever seen in my life. So, again, if you're for that, fuck off. Fuck off. Burn in hell if there is one. God, do you guys think this video gets demonetized? Should we create a poll? Probably don't need to. I'm probably going to get in trouble again. But you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. All right. I love you guys. Let me see what else we got for chat here, and then we'll probably finish up. Let me see if there's... Oh, you know what? Let me just make sure there's no other videos I want to show real quick. Anything that's important, and I'll get caught up with chat in a second. Sorry, guys. I get a little ranty sometimes. I just can't help it. I want to speak my mind and the things that I feel passionate about, and I want to live in a world where I can do that. The owner of the Jets, I don't really follow football much. Woody Johnson endorsed Trump. It seemed like a lot of people appreciated that. This person says, this is great. My mom, a lifelong Democrat, is now voting for Trump. The tide is officially turning. And I see her so many anecdotes of that, guys. Let's listen to this. We'll take on well, we'll see. This will probably get me demonetized too, but let's just listen. This is Trump talking about the World Health Organization. Let's listen real quick.
You know, Bobby, RFK Jr., that was a meaningful endorsement. That was a great endorsement. We'll take on the corruption at the FDA, the CDC, World Health Organization, and other institutions of public health that have dominated and really are dominated by corporate power and dominated really by China. You know, Bob.
Again, Bill Gates contributing, I believe what Grok said was 15%. You guys check this if you can, in Grok or any other one. But contributing 15% of the budget, I believe last year, I could be wrong on the actual year, but I believe it was last year, of the World Health Organization. Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd that he has so much power over them? And again, maybe there's nothing bad there. Maybe it's not a bad thing. I do think it should be looked into, though. We should understand who we're listening to and who their influences are, because China is another big one for the World Health Organization. So if it's China and Bill Gates, I don't know. I'm not fond of that. Let me get caught up with chat again real quick. I'll try not to rant too much. Yeah, and what do you think, Luke, about what I said? Oh, you said 100. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Imagine having my last name French for the white. Lol. Is that what it is? Oh, no, that is what it is. LeBlanc, the white. Yeah, wow. Good luck living in France. JP's Blueberry Shorts. What a name. I went to school in Atlanta as a kid, only white kid as well. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. And again, and I don't have any dislike towards people that are black. If anything, when I moved back up to the Midwest as I think it was like 8th grade, 7th grade, right around that time. Well, no. It was about Yeah, it was right around that time. It was like 5th, 4th grade, and then I moved between a bunch of different places, but a bunch of different cities, Indianapolis, Chicago, just a bunch more, right? So it made me have understanding for how much it can suck to be really different around a bunch of other people and how they perceive you and prejudge you. If anything, it could have turned me into like some white supremacist asshole. It could have, right? I think that just like everything that happens in life, it could have done that to me. But instead, it made me very empathetic towards people that are minorities in a particular location and how they're perceived by people. And it made me want to be nicer to them, if anything. So yeah, but it just all depends, right? It all depends on what you've lived through in life. Everybody has a unique perception of the world. We don't all neatly fit into blue and red teams. We all have the way we grew up. We all have the things that we watched. We all had the things that we learned in our own lives. We all have a different perception of reality. And I think too many people forget that. Jax, as long as he keeps his cool and doesn't let Kamala get under his skin, I think that's exactly right, Jax. Trump can't let that happen. Chris, 100, 100, 100. Thank you, brother. Av High, Cliff, you're the best. Thanks, dude. Peace and love from Israel. Thank you, my friend. Luke Automata, thank you so much for standing for the truth. This is why we love you. Mark the White says, this is my pre-breakfast live stream. Barely even had my coffee yet. Toke, military, baby, so much moving. My parents, my mom and dad did actually meet in the Air Force, but they were out of it by then. But we did a lot of moving, just trying to figure out, where we fit in life. And moved with jobs. My dad did a lot of sales stuff for a while, and anybody who's in that probably gets it. I had no idea you were well cultured. I have been, man. My parents actually met in Japan, Okinawa. Kelly, I am no longer a Democrat, said Alan. And again, we listened to Alan. We saw some of his views. You could tell he's very unhappy. This is something I wanted to show, okay? And I'm not saying this is happening in the election, YouTube. I'm totally getting banned after this. So hopefully I'll have my Bitcoin miner later today. It says this video demonstrates, this is an accusation, how easy it is to hack voting machines which are used in all swing states. And so let's just look at this here. This is, I don't know, this says CNN shows inside a hacker conference where American voting machines are examined. This is a CNN video. Electronic voting machines used in 18 different states, 8 of which are swing states, are able to be broken into within minutes with tools. You now have full admin access in the machine. Anybody who is in tech like me, or has been, knows how dangerous this is. You could do anything. It's having trouble rebooting because there's no card reader. And now you have full admin access on the machine. So you can disrupt the election. You can disrupt people's confidence. When you think about admin access, you think about it like keys to the castle. And again, even just confidence, right? You don't actually have to do anything. Just election integrity becomes very concerning when you know that our machines are capable of this. And we know that some of them, from what I read recently, are capable of wireless connections for updates. If that's true, that's frightening as hell. It says when you have admin access, you own the machine. You can get in to do what you want to do. So you can imagine that being very nefarious. U.S. elections are so complex that humans cannot do a manual count. We are dishonest and we are error prone. And again, without paper ballots, there's so much cheating that can occur. Without voter roll clearing, there's so much cheating that can occur. We're told that we shouldn't worry about it. And yet I think maybe this says we should. Not saying we should. Choosing my words carefully. So we have to use machines while we know that the machines are hackable. So now the question is, we use the machine and now we verify the results by doing risk limiting auditing. And this is where we know that the machine didn't cheat. But you cannot trust the same machine as a white paper ballot. So this is why we should use paper ballots, because some of this stuff, like some of these machines too, the parts are actually all like almost all made in China. Isn't that scary? I don't know. I think that's pretty scary. Oh, there's a whole bunch more about Trump. I'll try and get through it quickly, okay? Let me go back up. I just got bumped. I hate it when this shit happens. God, I hate this shit. All right, let's see here. Our border agents want to do more than anything to do the job. Kamala Harris has made it hard to do it. Let's listen to Vance here.
He took an oath to protect this country, to protect it from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and he has to, because Kamala Harris told him to, release illegal aliens into this country with minimal processing and minimal security. It breaks his heart that he's not allowed to do his job. And why?
And the guy can't even say that. He can't say that because he would probably get thrown in jail. They've got this whole like NDA, can't talk about anything.
Why is he not allowed to do his job? Because Kamala Harris.
So JD Vance has to interpret.
On day one, she ended Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, and she.
And did he even, I don't even think he said the name. Let me go back. I don't think he can say the name of the person. He just has a bunch of people behind him and he says he. Let's listen.
To protect this country, to protect it from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and he has to, because Kamala Harris told him to.
He, right? He can't describe the actual person.
Minimal processing and minimal security. It breaks his heart that he's not allowed to do his job. And why is he not allowed to do his job?
There's deliberately like 10 people in the back that he's pointing to, right?
Because Kamala Harris, she suspended deportations on day one. She ended Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, and she re-implemented the catch and release disaster that allows a lot of illegal aliens to commit fraud on our asylum system. You know what Donald Trump and I want to do? We want to go to war with the Mexican drug cartels. We want to close down the American southern border. We want to reinstitute deportations, and we want to stop the insanity at the southern border.
To be clear, actually, Krause was saying something, 407K, that's half of South Dakota. Blah, blah, blah. So to be clear, just on that same kind of vein of thought, if the numbers are to be believed, in about 3.5 months, we have the population of South Dakota coming into the country illegally, maybe less. Isn't that frightening? All right, we did this one. So some of these I'll have to, oh, this is great. Liberal Online loses it because she's been knocking on doors and everybody says they're going to vote for Trump. Listen to this. This is so great. Oh, let's see. There we go.
We are losing Michigan, guys, and I am afraid and uncomfortable by that. I've been out here knocking on doors and talking to people, and the responses that I am getting, I can't believe it's so many black people that believe Trump is going to save your life over a stimulus check, bro.
So as you saw and heard there, she said she was about to cry because she cannot believe the amount of black people who said they're voting for Trump because of a stimulus check or some baddie named Peasy, I guess maybe he's a rapper or something, that's influencing black people to vote. So she basically said that we are losing Detroit, right? She just flustered. And she also said that the Muslim community is also saying they're not going to vote for Kamala. So she's like, I know what to do. But you know what that also told me? Is, of course, we're hearing about all these polls that say that Kamala's getting ahead in the polls, this, that, and the other. But see, they're not telling you about her story, which I'm surprised that she got on TikTok to tell that part of, you know, the story that people are not feeling her candidate, which is Kamala Harris, right? So they're not going and taking a poll of those people that saying, I'm not voting for Kamala. I don't care if she is black. Because later on in that video, she lamented about how she's been going hard in the pain for Palestinians and things like that, and said that y'all need to show up for, you know, somebody who looks like us, right? Like our people. And it's like, that's not necessarily how it works. You should show up to the polls for people who are going to vote or give you something like a policy that's going to benefit you, not just because they black or they a woman. So, you know, I'm sorry for her tears, but I think she's getting a rude awakening that it ain't what you thought it was, boo-boo. You be showing up to the door with a little bit more of, or she's Kamala Harris and she's black and she's a woman. Get her into the White House. Because if you come to my door, and I don't live in Detroit, but if anybody comes to my door, oh boy, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to ask. I'm going to be nice, but I can't wait to ask questions of why should I, as a black woman in America, vote for Kamala?
I like this lady so much. If I could hug you, I would. I need to look up her TikTok and figure out who this lady is. She's great. So it's just wonderful. Yeah, it brings a smile to my face. All right, so we already saw that one. I'm out of here. Disgusted. Okay, that's Alan. A few of those Alan ones. We saw that one. This guy, Dustin Grage. Again, I'm just seeing so much of this, guys. I'm seeing so much of this all over X, all over the place. I'm not a Trump guy. It's well documented, but we can't deny the crossroads we're at this election. Do we want to be strong, prosperous, and safe again, or do we want communism? The choice couldn't be more clear. I'm 100% with Trump, and that's my view too, guys. You guys are getting so many. If you're MAGA, man, you're getting so many of us right now. Mike Lee said, Americans overwhelmingly agree that non-citizens shouldn't vote. I wish I have a data point with this. I'll try and find it for the next one that shows like the roughly 70% of people that believe that we need to have election integrity is the most important thing and that we should work to help this. But he talks about the SAVE Act here. It says, although existing law nominally prohibits them from voting in federal elections, non-citizens can easily register just by checking a box on a form while applying for a driver's license. That is 100% true. In a lot of states, a lot of swing states, the SAVE Act would fix this. Congress could pass the SAVE Act by now, by attaching it to the September spending bill. I do think Republicans are going to hold up the spending bill, and so there's potential on 10-1 that the government shuts down. It just depends on how it interferes with the election, but it's going to be fascinating to see how this happens and plays out. Congress could pass the SAVE Act now by attaching it to the September spending bill. Senator GOP leadership should get on board with this effort, not oppose it. I agree. But again, it just all depends on what the politics are for it. We already did that one. This one, a nice little meme. It says, what government is good at is collecting taxes, taking away your freedoms, and killing people. It's not good at much else. Tom Clancy. Agreed. Already saw that. That's just Michigan and North Carolina. Our officials have been ordered to take RFK's name off the ballot and reprint the ballots. So that's great. That helps in those states. Alan, I hate how bookmarks on X resort all the time. Drives me fucking nuts. I can't even play this with Robert F. Kennedy because I'm afraid I'll get blocked if I haven't already. Again, that's the hacking one. Let's just go down here and see if there's anything else. Just in case you guys don't know this, the president's trial, the former president, Donald Trump, now we don't have to worry about him getting thrown in Rikers between now and the election. So that's not a thing. Lucas, so Elon agreed with this. It says the institutional stance on election fraud says the U.S. has the highest stakes election in the world, is basically the only Democratic company in the world that doesn't make you show ID to vote. Miraculously has zero voter fraud per Democrats. That sounds totally retarded, man. It's extremely reasonable for someone to learn all that and just go, wow, my guy probably lost because they rigged it. So again, if you don't want this, if you're a Democrat and you don't want us to worry, or you don't want Republicans to have some crazy event go on because they believe that the election was interfered with, wouldn't it be rational to try and get paper ballots and do everything that the SAVE Act talks about so that we know that U.S. citizens are voting for the election? But that's not the narrative, and Democrats aren't even trying to hide it anymore. And again, Brett Weinstein, again, these people are liberal in nature, says succinctly today on Joe Rogan how our voting system is designed to be gamed. His point about exit polling is particularly a good one. Again, I've shared this already. Just look at it. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I can't talk about this. This is the one that got me censored right here, so I can't play that for sure. Yeah, no, that's it. I think that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna spend some time with the family, and then I'm gonna work on my Bitcoin mining video if my channel doesn't get blocked between now and then. I will see you guys at 6 p.m. tonight, comparing miners using the work of James from Invest Answers and Sebastian Ski as my base. And I might show some of their screens for a minute. I won't show you all of it. So if you guys do like what you see from either one of these guys, you should think about subscribing to their Patreons, of which I will have linked in the video. Otherwise, again, I love you guys. Let's work hard to help Donald Trump win this election so that America can be great for a long time forward, because I don't think it all needs to blow up and fall apart right now. I don't think the economy needs to blow up and fall apart right now. I think if you haven't seen the Econ Club interview or presentation from Donald Trump talking to a bunch of people in New York City, a lot of them liberal, about what he would do to help the economy and help this country, it's beautiful, and you should take some time to watch it. And I have a video about it if you want to. Otherwise, you can watch it directly from Trump. All right, I love you.